Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 3. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here. Welcome back to this week's news report. Once again, plenty of news for this particular week. So we are now in the new year, 2024, of course. We are at week 3. Plenty of things is still happening. We're going to have a closer look at all of it. One of the things that definitely we're going to have to discuss today here is the Yieldnodes and the NFT is temporarily suspended. So we're going to have a closer look at what actually happened there. We also have good news when it comes to our Decenomy Coins. They are staking again. Might not be fully up to speed or where we want to have them, but definitely it is moving. And so is all of our trading. There's even new competitions also that we have to go through today. So please stay tuned all the way through. And I'll promise you that there will be plenty of interesting news. Grab yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. And let's get started. And why not start off with the Yieldnodes part? Because once again, we got a bit of an email, a bit of a shock, actually from Yieldnodes. And one of the things that they mentioned here is that they are writing us here today to report an incident regarding the Yieldnodes NFT collection. They have identified a security vulnerability that was exploited by malicious actors on a very small scale. But anyway, they are trying to action it. So what they are saying here, that as of this date that the email was sent, only 10 to 15 unclaimed, and we are talking about apparently on unclaimed NFTs are affected, and they were quickly blocked. And basically, they are now actively working to recover the compromised Yieldnodes NFTs and restore the rightful owners to their position. We are hoping that the process will be complete within the next few days, is what they are telling us here. And then just thanks again to the community for alerting us. And obviously, they have made the swift decision. Now, apart from this, also the important part that they bring forward that we should note is that the security breach is not Yieldnodes NFT specific, but rather vulnerability spanning NFT contracts in general across multitudes of blockchains and addresses. Exactly how that works, unfortunately, I cannot explain that to you well enough. But as it highlights here, that Yieldnodes has taken swift action in response to this malicious attempt, and they have immediately locked the Yieldnodes NFT collection and initiated an investigation into the source of the hacker attack in here. Trading on the NFTs is for security reasons temporarily suspended until they're 100% sure it is safe and bulletproof. And then after that, it will resume again. So this is the information from the Yieldnodes team. So obviously not a big hack, but still it is definitely a bit of an inconvenience for the people that has unfortunately had to go through this. Now we're gonna switch over to the Decenomy Coins, and one of the ones is still interested in is the SAP versus Bitcoin, just to see where that has left us with that particular news. And it looks like it has slowly but surely gone back again from previous highs. So we saw that in last week and also this week here. It is trading almost sideways, but still with a downwards trend at the moment. And we'll have to see how big of an effect of the SAP coin is going to have over a long period of time. But we also mentioned that our SAP staking is actually working again. It, for some reason, stopped after the 11th. You can see even down here, 29th. Last week we reported came in on the 11th. And then we have about 8 days in between again. And then we have the next reward of 280 SAP. So at the moment that one is working. We're getting very close to 20,000 SAP coins overall. But the value of the coin is still very, very low, as you can see at the moment. So the 280 basically correlates to about 1.4% for the week, which is obviously quite nice. But as you will see, if you look down the line here, we can see that they have come in. Here's 7 days between, here's 4 days between, here's 5 days between, 4 days again here. So it is a bit up and down. It's not really set in stone on particular dates or particular timelines. And that's, I guess, what we just have to get used to if you want to stake your coins. We also have the PNY coin in here, and that is a bit of the same conundrum at the moment. So last one we had was on the 12th of January. Then we have on the 19th, so 7 days in between. Again, also here. Before that, there was only 2 days, so that was on the 10th. And before that, it was on the 5th. So again, also here, we see some inconsistencies. As when it comes to the staking, all you can do is simply let it run 24/7. And eventually, as you can see here, the coins are coming in. Obviously also for PNY, it's very low this particular week, only 0.8% or 133 PNY. But again, it's better than just having them sit around and do nothing. So why not stake them, of course. Now let's have a look also at the Bitcoin versus USDT. And when we left it last time around, it was at 42,550, I believe. You can see previously we had a high of 46,267. So that was the prior week. We had a big drop. And then it was trading sideways for most of the time. Had the dip all the way down to 40,280 and currently now trading sideways again at 41,728. But obviously as soon as the video comes out, that has already changed slightly, I'm sure. Now if we move over to the Trillant news platform, so there's not much news, but some of the news we also highlighted to you last week here, and the past couple of weeks it has been an important notice regarding legal review and measurements within the platform itself. The only update and information we have from the Trillant platform is the latest news information that I can write to you here, and it says we would like to inform you about the status of the compliance review. We are currently in constructive discussions with the relevant authorities, and the exchange with our lawyers is also progressing positively. The processing of this matter continues to drag on and no decision has been yet made. However, we would like to assure you that we remain committed to taking all necessary steps and will continue to keep you informed of any progress. Your patience and understanding at this stage is greatly appreciated, and thank you very much. So again, it doesn't really tell you much of what is actually happening other than most of the things are actually suspended at the moment. So all we can do is wait and see. And while we do that, we'll have a look at CoinStore, also to see what impact that has had on the coins itself. And really nothing for the past week. We can see that we left it on the 13th last time at 0.0003219. Since then, it has pretty much traded sideways as much as it possibly can. At 0.0003239 is basically where we are as we are shooting this particular video here. So nothing has really changed in the past week when it comes to the coin. And that is, I guess, good news in the hope that once we are moving again on the Trillant platform, things are looking up, things will be better, but it is definitely taking a long time. Also, when it takes long time is money tree. That has been actually going for quite a while. For week 3, we have actually no trades closed. At the moment, there is a bit of a drawdown in there, but it hasn't closed any of it, so profits is 0. Medium risk also only made $21 or 0.4%, and the high risk one, $34 or 0.7%. Again, this is a common phenomenon, as you will see through this particular weekly review, that many of the EAs is a bit down this particular week here. It doesn't matter what EA it is definitely not all-time highs all the way around. But let's have a look at the medium risk account just to see where we are. And as previous weeks, you can see that it did quite well in the beginning. As we mentioned many times before, we have adjusted the lot size, and that's also why we are keeping this, so you can see what we have done. We managed to get all the way down to the bottom here, just above 4,000. Since then, we made some reductions in the lot sizing again, and that has clearly helped. So the balance was originally 5,000. You can see now the balance and the equity is still up. We have a minus floating profit loss at the moment of $401. But overall, we can see that now the return is returning, and it is getting better and better. 5.6% is obviously not much, because you can see the account down here is 270 days old. But if you start calculating it from when we had the bottom out of the account back in July and see where we are now here, roughly 6 months later, it is definitely going the right direction, and we are at, let's see, 5-6, so that means we have done about 50% in the last 6 months, so very good progress overall here. The second one we're going to have a look at is the high risk one. The high risk one took a bigger hit. Also this one was at $5,000 originally, dropped all the way down to almost 3,000, as you can see here, has now worked its way back up again to a balance of over 5,000. This particular account we have adjusted here recently, so somewhere in the last 3 or 4 weeks. We can see the floating profit is a bit higher also due to the lot size used, so we are now at minus 602. Hopefully that will close off very soon. And here obviously at the moment total return is still minus, also history here 270 days, but you can see that after our changes in here it has really worked. So overall it is a positive trend that the money tree continues to provide. Now for the profit retriever for week 3, also here we see that there is some lows. We are definitely not crashing any new all-time highs. Top 5 in here is the FTSE 100, $619 or 6.2% for the week. And then we have the gold, $434 or 4.3%. Euro Aussie, $377 or 3.8%. And then silver again here in, so a lot of metal this week around, $340 or 3.4%. Finishing off the top 5 is the Euro Japanese with $277 or 2.8%. And if you would have traded those top 5 results, you would have made $2,048 or 4.1% in the past week. And obviously, as we said, it's low, but it's still ticking over very nicely. And if you have a look at our portfolio of all the profit retriever EAs we have, history is 673 days. And I remember back to some of the times where we had 1 or 2 months only of history data in the beginning, and everybody said, yeah, you know, it looks good, but most probably it's going to break down, it's going to crash. This is simply not sustainable over long periods of time. And I'm happy to say that we have proven everybody wrong, as long as you trade again with your mind and not just with your wallet here. If you get too greedy, definitely this EA will shut you down. But monthly profits 7.8%. That one is going down together with the weekly returns, also a 1.8. And this is the reason, again, as I mentioned many times in here, that we have the $10,000 accounts. We trade it as it is always a $10,000 account. Even some of them have doubled, tripled and quadrupled in here, because they are also part of the copy-link service. We are simply not increasing the lot size. That's why you will see the monthly return is going down. Overall, we are normally in the area of 12 to 15% instead. And if we have a quick look at the January results so far, we can see we are currently at $11,797 overall. And that correlates very well with what we have seen in the past 3 months before, where we should expect to be. We have about 1/3 left, and you can see already we are almost at 12,000, and the previous 3 months was at 15, 14, and 15, so extremely stable results overall here. So let's hope that that's going to continue. And as usual, we refer also back here, not just for the profit retriever. In this particular case, you can obviously see the portfolio overview in here, similar to what I've shown you. And below there is also an opportunity to look at the individual links. If you want to have a look at the timeline, if you want to have a look at the drawdowns, all these things you can obviously find in here. Nothing is hidden, everything is for free. But again, we also encourage you to make sure that you are well funded, and that's also why we have the risk disclaimers, that you are obviously trading at your own risk, and we have some recommendations for you that, depending on what type of indexes, metals or Forex, where you should be, to make sure that you are not crashing your account. If all this again sounds a bit too hectic, a bit too difficult to to understand, especially for the profit retriever to set that up. You need a bit of understanding of how to do this. There is obviously other ways where you can go to the copy link trading. You can go in and copy the individual links that either we have or some of the other traders have in there. It's entirely up to you. The good part is you can go click the links, look at the FX Blue, figure out is this exactly is something for you or not, and you can basically leave the trading to others if you are happy with the results they have provided so far. And one of the ones that we are really happy with and the results so far is the Trade Explorer. So for week 3, once again, we have some really good results. The 22 pair didn't do too well this particular week, only $93 or 0.9%, so that was a bit disappointing. But on the other side, you can see the 10 pair one absolutely crashed the market this particular week here with $1,279 or 12.8%. And that is definitely massive. We are not talking about a monthly profit, we are talking about a weekly profit. Things went really well for the Trade Explorer. It has done really well ever since we actually put it here. And that's also why we are once again having a look at it. The 22 pair is very close to basically doubling up the account. The account history is 249 days, as you can see here in the bottom. Total return 99.3. Monthly returns 8.5. Also here we are not changing the lot size. We're always trading it as it's 10% or 10,000. And that also means that monthly returns most probably will lie closer to the 10% in here. Balance is above the 20,000, but equity is slightly below. You can see the floating profit and loss, minus $104 at the moment. Nothing to be concerned about, definitely. And then you have all the different currency pairs in here. The 22 pairs that you can also have a look at. All these details you'll find more about on the website. And then let's have a look at the account that did so well this particular week here. Also, this one started back then with 10,249 days ago. And since then, we are now almost at 25,000. Equity is at 24,288. Floating profits is at minus 203. So a bit lower, but definitely also very safe trading at the moment. And just look at the graph that goes up, up, and up here. So we had the little bump that we mentioned to you many times of what exactly happened here. But total returns 142%, monthly returns is 11.2. But most probably we are looking closer to around the 15% mark, and weekly returns at 2.6, but most roughly also around 3% is something that is definitely doable. And yes, we are very happy with both of them. You can also see the links up here. So the 22 pair is 145C and the 10 pair is 146. And we're actually going to come back to these particular ones a bit later in the program when we are going through some of the copy link service videos. So make sure that you also watch that part. Now the weight Liberator is our new EA. It's the Expert Forex EA in here. Also this one is low on profit, so very interesting to see that every single of our EAs, apart from the Trade Explorer, the 10 pair one, all the other ones are pretty much low. And the top 5 EAs for this particular week is British Pounds Japanese with $40 or 4%. And then the Aussie Swiss francs, $38 or 3.8%. US CAD, $38 or 3.8%. So again, very similar. Aussie New Zealand, $34 or 3.4%. And then we have US Japanese with $30 or 3%. In total, if you would have traded those 5 accounts, and don't forget these 5 accounts is actually set up with a $10,000 account, but you can actually trade them on the $1,000 account. But we don't recommend that because normally we need to have a bit of extra space for on certain Forex markets. Total results was $181 or 3.6%. So once again, it's doing quite well. And that's why I also wanted to show you the portfolio that we are trading in here. So again, we have 13 accounts at the moment. They are on $10,000 each of them, and we actually set it up in that way that you should be able to trade it with a lower amount than 10,000 per account. and you should also be able to trade them with your FTMO accounts. So if you are wise and you pick the right signals that we have in here, you can see that overall total returns over the 153 days is 6.1%, and it doesn't sound like much. But again, this was actually set up for the FTMO in the first place. But all the signals that you have in here, you can obviously double and triple the factors in here. So it matches your risk strategy. That's the important part. The floating profits out of the equity of 135,000 at the moment is in minus 3,400. I believe the biggest drawdown we had on this particular account with all the accounts in here is around 4,000. So you can again do the calculation and see how much percentage that is. So it means that it's keeping within the FTMO regulations. And that's again one of the reasons why you have so many different ones, because even though that you will see the drawdowns from time to time, the more accounts you have, the more it evens out the curve and the drawdown curve. So if you have just one account going a bit crazy, the rest of them will not all follow, and you hopefully can stay within the margin of error here. So again, very, very good numbers. We are very happy with them. It is trading extremely well. And again, some of all the currencies you have over here, you can see what is currently there, and you can also find more on the website. So again, the percentage numbers, profit factors, history, and you can see the net profits that are coming in on a day-to-day basis. In the beginning, the first couple of weeks here, we only have a few accounts, and then we added more and more. And as you can see here, for this particular week, $260 is not really much, but it's cashing in on a regular basis, and that's what we want to have. That's exactly what you get. Also, when you are trading the profit retriever, very, very stable results and money in the bank every single time. On our website, as we said, you can go in and you can trade this particular one on a $1,000 account. We do not recommend it. So either you trade it with $3,000, or what you can do also is you can turn down the lot factor. So you can turn it down so it matches your risk profile. But these ones are very, very low drawdown, but from time to time, you will see that the Forex market will certainly decide exactly what's going to happen in here. No matter how much you are back testing or forward testing, all of a sudden you will get these hiccups. So do yourself that favor again to put a bit of extra money in the account so you will sleep better at night. Now, we also did a video here recently on the Wave Liberator, and it also says 100% success rate. So when we did that particular video here also, I believe that we had also the 13 accounts in here, and all of them had an equity that was in the positive side. That means above the 10,000. Obviously, from time to time, you can have a bit of a drawdown, but overall, all of them were doing extremely well at that particular time of the video. And as you can see also now, it continues to do quite well. Now let's go over to the Expert Forex, Hedged EA. This is the latest one from Expert Forex and Alex. And some of the things we have previously mentioned in here is that we have 7 now accounts set up with different groups of currency pairs. And the part of this is that they are not repeating, means that you only have the US dollar in here one time, only the Canadian one time. And in the past couple of weeks, we have shown the first 3 accounts in here. We're going to show the next ones, which is the Aussie New Zealand, CAD Swiss francs, US, Euro, USD, Great British Pounds, Japanese, and the same also here for account 5, just to show you how well they are doing, because normally we are not a big fan of trading multiple accounts at the same time. We actually prefer to do individual ones, which we are also at the moment doing in the background here. We are setting up new accounts, and we are trying to basically run them individual accounts. So far we have set up around group 1 and 2 individuals, and then you can mix and match them depending on the results that are actually coming out of them at the end of the day. We actually prefer that. And to show you here exactly what is happening. So this is the account here now that does the Aussie New Zealand, Euro, Swiss francs, Great British Pounds, USD, and New Zealand CAD. And in here we have a Nikkei equity, so it hasn't blown or anything else like this, far from it. But there is a minus on the floating profit and loss, so at 625. But overall the graph has been running quite well. But because of the trending market that we have at the moment, also this one here has gone slightly negative with the 4 different currency pairs. You can see the British pounds USD is the number one, definitely with the most trades at the moment, and the rest will hopefully also follow. So the numbers are not looking so good at the moment, but look at the trade wins, 71.4%. Still quite high, but only history of 20 days at the moment, so we'll have to let that one trade for a bit longer. The next one we have is the Aussie USD, the CAD Japanese, the Euro New Zealand, and the Great British Pounds against the Swiss. Also here $10,000, and this one has also a very, very nice curve. This one also in a slightly drawdown at the moment, 478 in minus. Overall equity is still positive. But again, we also have only 20 days of trading in here. Monthly returns at the moment has been calculated to about 9%, which is definitely somewhere where we want to be in that region. 8 to 15% we believe is quite good. Weekly returns 2%. But again, we simply don't have enough trading data at the moment to see if this is reliable over time, if it's getting better or if it's getting worse. We'll have to wait and see, and you can obviously follow all of this both on our YouTube channel and on our website. Now, interesting news also from Alex, an expert Forex. There's 2 trading competitions that he has released in the past week where you can use demo accounts, and you will actually also get up to 4 free entry accounts. And these 2 different trading parts, one is with the Liberator robot, and the other one you can use any particular robot in here. But I have a feeling that is going to be the Liberty versions. If it's not going to be the RSI or the Wave Liberator, it could be the Hedged EA. That's going to take the price overall. I believe those are some of the best ones, creating the biggest profits at the moment. The second video Alex did is also 10 winning Liberator robot settings from the Link to Success service in here, where he's obviously promoting his own links. But that also took us back, and we wanted to have a closer look just to see how well we are actually doing in here. And one of the things that we noticed when we clicked is that we wanted to have a look at the success rate of some of the accounts, which ones are the best ones currently here. And if we look at the account, you can see the amount of links that is in here. You can see the average rate of the account, 267, average gains 87%. And then success rate is 64 on an average, and then gain since listed 6,600. So in this particular case, we listed against the success rate, and we have one link which seems to have an extremely high one of 87% at the moment. It has 114 days in here, but the yellow ones are actually ours. So it's very nice to see that we are heavily involved in this. So let's go through just the list quickly and see link 145C in here. There's 5 investors that has linked up to this particular one. And again, this is the Trade Explorer. And you'll notice that this particular one is the 22 pair one. So the one that has pretty much doubled, as you can see, 99.3. So 76% of success rate, extremely high. The next one we have is the 158. Nobody has linked to that. This is also a new account we just recently added to the linking service. So average account gains up here is 17%, success rate 75, and this is our Wave Liberator account that we have set up. And then the next one we have is link 146C, doing extremely well with 5 link investors. Again, not too many, 242 days, 142%. And look at, again, the recent equity, 24,288 with a success rate of 74, extremely high. So this is the Trade Explorer, and this is the 10 pair one that you saw earlier here in the program. The next one is the 126C. Only one is actually linked to this one, strange with such a high success rate. Average gains 56%. Maybe that's why people are getting more greedy. So the recent equity is past 15,600. Also 74%, and this is actually the profit retriever, the Euro USD currency. So it's doing quite well, but obviously people want more money out of it. And that's why we're talking about, again, sometimes you have to be careful that you don't get too greedy, because some of the accounts could obviously blow. Link 153C in here. So this is also Wave Liberator, 72% for that particular one. So also doing extremely well. Link 148C we have down here is at 71%, and also recent equity is nice and positive. And then we have one of the new accounts. There's only one at the moment that has linked to this one, because it's only 51 days old and just been added in here. Account gains 14%, and again 70% success rate. So we're quite happy to see that we have so many in the top. I believe it's 18 signals that we have in here. So despite there's so many signals, we are still very heavily involved in the top part for the success rate. And that obviously also tells you that if the success rate is high, the drawdowns can't be too bad. And as you have seen with some of the other ones, the Trade Explorer and this, things are definitely looking very, very good. And that's what we had for you in this week's news report. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you some insights, and hopefully get you also thinking of what robots to actually look and test in the future. So we are certainly doing a lot of testing for you. All you have to do is come by our website, and you will find a lot more information and details there. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please give us a thumbs up, a like, a little comment if you want. And obviously, hopefully, I will see you on one of my next videos. So until then, bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.